All right, so we're going to give a brief overview about how to adjust the monitor mixes. So we have on our Allen Heath GLD 80, we've got our main output. Mix light is mix. All these blue buttons are mix. So when our main output is lit mix, everything is showing us what's going to the main output, to the main house speakers up here that everybody in the audience hears. All right, so that's our main master output, different color than anything else on the board. The only yellow channel is this. So everything pink here is an aux, which is a send to a monitor mix. Everybody up on stage. So we've got a mix for the piano, we've got backup singers that sit over here. Our guitar, drums have a separate one, electric guitar back here has a separate mix, bass guitar. All right, so everybody has their own mix on the board. So front is that speaker that's right there on the floor. We do sometimes not have it. So if we're not using it, you can just mute it. That way you don't have any issues from it. Piano, there's a, it's hard to see on the video, but there's a little satellite speaker. It's actually moved a little bit to the very end of the piano. Again, Vox, that's an in-ear wireless. Bass, same thing, in-ear wireless. Lead, in-ear wireless. Electric guitar, that's a wired in-ear mix. And the drums is the same thing, a wired in-ear mix. All right, so if we need to adjust the levels of a mix, let's say the drum mix, it's right beside our main output. Again, right now, mix light is lit for the main output. So all of our faders are showing us what's coming to the main output. So if I now choose the mix light on the drum output, because I need to adjust what's coming to the drummer, I hit mix, and now all of my faders are now showing me this is the level that's coming to the drum mix. All right. You also do need to remember your master faders. These are your master faders. So everything's sitting pretty close to that number 5. If these are down, it really doesn't matter when you hit the mix button and you're trying to adjust stuff. If it's down, nobody's going to hear what's coming into the mix. So make sure that's at a good appropriate level. 5, 0. Those are great numbers to start at if you're just guessing. And then again, if you're starting from scratch, have everything down so that you don't blast anybody's ears. Anywho, so you need to adjust the drums, like you need to turn up the drums for the drummer. We've hit the mix light on the drummer's mix. We come over to our inputs and we find here's kick, here's drum. Those two channels need to be turned up. Make small adjustments, always less than 5 dB on the board. So these numbers kind of change in scale. So just kind of watch how that rolls. And again, try and make small adjustments, 5 dB or less at a time. So that was the drummer needed to hear more drums. So let's say the backup vocals need to hear more drums. So you always want to, whenever you get a request, you want to identify who needs the change and then identify I need to go to their mix. So don't worry about what they need yet, just identify who they are first. So the backup vocals, their monitor is Vox. Vox is short for vocal, all right? hit the mix button on that. That's lit. And just so that you can see again, on digital boards, whenever you hit that mix button, all of our faders are now showing us what's coming to this mix. All right, so the vocals needed more drums. Let's go find the drums. This is how much they're getting of kick and drum. So we separate those two channels anyways, so we'll turn them up. All right, now that we turn that up, we're good to go. We can come back to our main mix if we need to. And now we're ready to mix for the house. It's always really important to remember after you've adjusted somebody's monitor that you get that mix light off of them so that you can be back on the house, because I have done it a number of times where I've made an adjustment to somebody's monitor, forgot that my mix light is on their monitor, and then I start listening to the house and I'm making changes, and it's like, I still can't hear the change I'm making, and I start blowing up somebody's monitor because I keep turning it up, trying to hear the change, and I'm never going to hear the change if I'm adjusting somebody else's monitor. All right, one more scenario. Let's say our lead person, who will normally be right here, they have a wireless in-ear monitor. They need less of the electric guitar. All right, so we're first identifying who needs it before we identify what they need. So who needs it is Rye. His mix is lead. So we're going to come to his mix, hit the mix on his mix. And again, so that we see the change on the board when we hit the mix button, everything is now showing us what's coming to this mix. So Rye, our lead person, needed less electric guitar, I think is what I said. So less electric guitar is right here. We're going to turn that down. All right. So yeah, biggest thing is just being able to find the things on your board quickly, and being comfortable with that process of identifying first who needs the change before I start trying to process what the change is. All right, so first get who needs it and identify their mix, and then you can come over to the inputs and turn down, turn up their actual need.